with me is Wanjiku Angela. She's a fashion designer who does clothes that includes people with visual impairments. So Angela, why did you choose the name Hisi for your brand?
So thanks for having me.
Sure.
The name Hisi is twofold. So one, the Swahili word Hisi is to mean feel, which is how our prints are experienced by sight and feel.
Yeah.
So all our clothes have braille on them,
Yeah.
so that people can feel by touch. And then the second name, Hisi, is for our process of design, which is rooted in empathy. So tuna Hisi, and then we create. Yes.
I love that. So what does this braille on here, what does it mean?
So on this first t-shirt, we have the writing, reading, wade in the water, content for your future. Then on the second, on the dress, on the sleeves, it reads, the less we see with our eyes, the more we see with our hearts. Yes.
I love that. So what motivated you or inspired you to come up to specialize in making clothing for the visually impaired?
So Hisi began as my university undergraduate project paper. I was trying to answer the question, how do visually impaired people interact with fashion? And this had come about my interactions with visually impaired children at the school for the blind in Thika, where I grew up.
Okay.
So I pursued the question, and it became my research question for my paper. Then after graduating, then I started Hisi as a business in June 2019.
Okay. So what is the main objective of your brand?
I'd say we have more than one.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So the main objective is to be champions for inclusion, especially for blind people, and later grow into advocacy for all persons with disabilities. I believe fashion as a tool for expression and communication should be experienced by as many people as possible. And when we have prints and writing and slogans on clothing that leave out a group of people from what we're trying to share and experience, then that doesn't work out. Another objective we have is to raise funds through our commerce experiences, so that we can have people buying, and then we give towards braille literacy programs, buying braille paper, braille machines, white skins, and that kind of thing. Yes.
Okay, awesome. So how do you approach the design process differently when creating for individuals without visual impairments than for those with visual impairments?
So how we go about it is, for the visually impaired, we have visually impaired co-designers working with us, because I am not visually impaired myself. I have a co-designer with me who's visually impaired, and we sit down and assess what needs we want to put within the collection we're creating, and then that's what we put on the clothing. So what's really different is the research process and back and forth iteration between myself and visually impaired people.
Okay, so how do you ensure how do you ensure the clothing design is easy for people with visual impairments to put on and maybe take off?
Okay, so we have this unique QR code with every piece we create. So once they scan it on their phones, it reads out to them the size, the color, the material, and the wash and care instructions. So when they're shopping, they're able to do that independently. And then for the prints, we have tactile lines, like on the t-shirt, the lines that are tactile, and then the braille is also tactile, can be fully read by touch. So that is what we add.
Do they come to your shop like in Thika, or how do they shop?
Okay, so when we've had visually impaired customers, we've mostly had our interactions online. So they have relied on my team and myself to describe what they're purchasing. But we're yet to experience anyone shop with us in person, but I believe it would be an easy experience for them.
Yeah. Some of the challenges you faced in designing for the visually impaired.
So when I started out, as I've told you, I am a sighted person, so I hadn't experienced braille as much myself. So I had to rely on the teachers at school for the blind to help me do the braille, read it out. When I gave out questionnaires in braille, I also relied on them to transcribe what the students wrote because I didn't read braille at the time. So it's a challenge I have overcome by studying braille as a certificate course. So now I am braille proficient and I do it myself. The second challenge that is also growing, becoming less challenging is within the disability community. Most people are quite tight-knit. It's a tight-knit circle, and breaking through and gaining that trust has not been very easy. But as we're growing, and we've shown that we're people that can be relied on, we're honest and trustworthy with what we're doing,
to help them.
and we genuinely want to make an impact. So it's lessening.
Okay. So I think that's all we had for today. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Okay.